All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to hide my face so I don't have to look at my face talking to myself. But there we go. Okay, so today we're just going to focus really on the breath. We're going to start with a lot of sensations, and then we're going to move through a series of standing poses, and we're going to see where it leads us, okay? So I want you to start seated on something, and you can sit cross-legged, or you can sit in virasana, whatever works for you. But I want you to go ahead and take a moment to close the eyes. Plant the hands wherever feels good to you. And I want you to just take a moment to soften your forehead, to soften your cheeks, soften your jaw, your tongue, and then become aware of gravity and notice how you can soften the weight of the arms, the weight of the hands, the weight of the legs. And you'll just take a few moments to take 3 big breaths, allowing the breath to settle both the mind and the body. And as we are here today, our practice is really going to be on being in this moment. I can't speak for any of you, but I notice that when certain things come up in my life, I'll either start ruminating or I'll start fantasizing about the future. And in neither case does it feel like it's as grounding as being present in this moment. So in our practice today, we're just going to focus on returning your attention moment by moment to this breath, to what you're feeling. So I want you to take 3 more breath cycles as you're here. And for these last 3 breaths, see if you can breathe super down and wide into the torso. And then as you exhale, allow the breath to come through the midline and up and out through the crown of your head. So big breath down and wide, and then exhaling, allowing it to come to the midline, up and out. Great. And we'll go ahead and continue to just focus on the breath. You might tone the back of the throat now, inviting in a bit of your Ujjayi pranayama. And very gently, still staying with the breath, allow the eyes to flutter open. You're going to shift your weight forward just a little bit so you can plant your palms on the mat. And I want you to flip the back of the left palm to the floor, fingertips facing towards you, heel of the hand facing away. And you might just start by bending the left elbow a little bit, drawing it closer towards you and then away, and just noticing what that feels like. And then you might peel more of the sole of the hand up and away. And you're just paying attention to what this feels like. It's been a while since we've done this. So you're just noticing what the breath feels like, noticing what the body feels like. Go ahead and pause. Bring the back of the left hand to the floor so the palm faces up, fingertips face towards you. And again, you might bend the elbow just a little bit and straighten it. You might screw the elbow forward and then, or rather twist it forward and twist it away, and just notice what that does to the back of the hand. And we'll go ahead and release that. Take a few little circles with just that left wrist. Notice if you're still breathing, and then we'll go ahead and try this on the other side. So both palms come back to the mat or floor. Flip the back of your right hand to face forward, and just having the whole palm on the floor, gently bend the right elbow and straighten the right elbow. And you're just noticing what this feels like here. You might begin to peel the heel of the hand up, bend away from the floor, and feel what that feels like across the palm of the right hand. And you're just noticing if you're breathing. Awesome. Go ahead and come to stillness. Flip the back of the right hand to the floor, palm faces up, fingertips face towards you. And then again, bend and straighten that right elbow. Noticing what happens there. And then you might twist the right elbow forward and back, almost like you're screwing a jar lid or something. So the whole eye of the elbow comes forward and back. Great. And then go ahead and release that. Take a few little wrist circles with just that right hand. From here, lower the right hand down, reach out with the left hand, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, and flex through that left hand as much as you can. And I want you to really pull your fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then you might lift the hand until you start to feel stuff happening across the palm of the left hand and across the neck. You might reach the hand back. You might reach it up a little bit, but you're trying to find sensation happening across the palm, maybe even up into the left side of the neck. As you're ready, lower the right hand to the floor. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead. And we'll take a little side bend over towards the right. And again, root down through your left sit bone, reach out through your left fingertips, and you might twist your rib cage up towards the sky just a bit. You might twist it down towards the floor just a bit, but you're noticing what's happening on that long left side body. Nice job. Next inhale, let's go ahead and come back up through center. Lower the hand down to the floor. Look at your legs, switch whichever leg is in front. And then we'll try most of that to the other side. So the right hand will come to the right. You'll flex through the right hand, drop the left ear towards the left, and then really press out through that right hand. You might drift the right hand back. You might lift it up a little bit, but you're looking for sensation happening across your neck, happening across the palm of the right hand, maybe all the way up into the right arm. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing this particular moment. As you're ready, the left hand will walk to the floor to the left. You'll turn the right palm up and then take a little side bend up and over towards the left. Really root down through your right sit bone. And then you might roll the rib cage forward and up. You might roll the rib cage forward and down, but you're just paying attention to what's happening on that right side body, finding some length across the QL, as well as mostly your lats. Awesome. Let's go ahead and come to stillness. Inhale, come back up through center. This time, both arms parallel to the floor. Exhale, right arm under, left arm on top. Inhale, draw the elbows down, heart lifts up. And exhale, elbows press forward, chin comes down. And you've got 4 more of these. Just inhaling and exhaling, noticing how we're now starting to link breath more directly to movement. You might feel some crunchies or gremlins between the shoulder blades and the neck. And just allowing yourself to be present with every single sensation, every bit of this moment, this experience that you're having. Awesome. After you've done a total of 5 sets, go ahead and come to stillness. Gently inhale, unwind the arm, and then you'll try the other side. So left arm underneath, right arm on top. Take a big breath in, draw the elbows down, look up, and then exhale, round through the upper spine, chin comes to chest, elbows lift up. And then you've got 4 more just like that, inhaling and exhaling, feeling and noticing what's happening in the body right here and right now. Can you hear your breath? Can you follow the breath? Meaning the movement takes as long as the breath. And the breath is a little bit longer than you might ordinarily have it. Awesome. After you've done a total of 5, you'll go ahead and inhale, unwind the arms. Go ahead and come forward onto hands and knees. Pad your knees with a blanket if you'd like, and make sure your blocks are towards the upper outer corners of your space. From there, you're just going to take a series of cats and cows. Don't worry, we're going there next, Sandy. And then pause and breathe, inhaling and exhaling. And you might find it fun as you're inhaling into your cow shape to really take a moment to pause there in that shape and do the little Marlon Brando. So you'll stick your chin up a little bit more and maybe chip your left ear towards your left shoulder and feel a stretch on the left side, right side of the neck. And inhale through center and then go to the other way. You're the one that named that. You realize that. And then resume your cats and cows after you found enough neck stretches to suit you for the day. Nice job. Nice job. Now really stay with your breath. At the end of your next inhalation, come to a neutral spine. Curl both sets of toes under, and then exhale, press your pelvis back towards your feet. Walk your hands back towards your knees, and then come all the way up to vertical for toe squat. Curl your pinky toes under if you haven't already, and then go ahead, sweep the right arm up, bend the right elbow, grab the right elbow with the left hand. Press the right elbow to the left as you draw it to the right. Push it to the right as you draw it to the left. And then you might stay here. You might try taking the full bind by reaching your left arm up and maybe reaching for your right fingertips behind you. But you just got 3 more breath cycles here. And you keep drawing your chin parallel-ish to the floor. Head directly over your tailbone. Nice job. Those who have the bind, gently release the left hand. Reach the left arm up. Reach the right arm up. Bend the left elbow. Grab the left elbow with the right hand. And you might just stay here, pressing the left elbow to the left and drawing it to the right. You might reach up through the right hand, turn the right thumb down, swim the arm back behind you, and perhaps reach for the fingertips behind you. And you've just got about 2 more breath cycles here. Really drawing your shoulders over your hips, your head over your spine. Awesome, soft. The end of your next exhalation, gently release the right arm. Reach it up, reach left arm up, hands come forward to the floor, patter the tops of your feet to the floor, having a happy little temper tantrum. And then shift your weight back, taking a counter stretch if that suits you, lifting one end or both knees up and away from the floor. And as you're back there today, I encourage you to notice how you can send a little bit more weight back and notice the fun spots at the top of your ankles. Some of you, it feels better than others, but just notice what you notice. And then when you're ready, you're going to come forward to hands and knees and make your way back to downward facing dog. And I want you to just notice what you feel in this first down dog. How do you feel in the shoulders? How do you feel in your hips? How do you feel in your legs? Take a moment to notice what you notice. Fantastic. Awesome. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and come forward to hands and knees once again. As you exhale, bring your bum to the floor and swim your legs around in front of you. We have one more thing to do before we move on. So we're going to keep both feet in front of us. Tuck your right foot, your left foot underneath your right leg. Bring your right foot outside of your left foot. And then sit as tall as you can. Lift your bum up and slide it a little bit to your left. And I want you to bring your right thumb into your right hip crease, push it down and away, pull your right knee closer to you, and rotate to the right. And you've just got 3 breath cycles here. See if you can press your right big toe, that's the front foot, into the floor. Sit tall through the spine, yep. And then draw your right knee closer to your left armpit closer to your right knee. Nice. Very gently unwind, come back through center. We'll try all that on the other side. So both feet on the floor, right foot comes underneath, left foot crosses over to the outside edge of your right foot, thigh area. Lift pelvis up, slide it a little bit to the right, put your bum back down, and then left thumb comes into left hip crease, press your left thumb down, pull your left knee closer to your right armpit towards left knee, and then rotate towards your left. And just take a few breath cycles here, really rooting down into that hip, drawing the belly in and rotating through the rib cage. Nice job. All right. On your next in-breath, gently unwind. Unwind both legs, and you're going to crisscross the ankles, come forward, hands and knees, make your way back to downward facing dog once again. And then I want you to notice what you notice this time. And you just observe. It's a moment by moment breath thing happening. So as you're in down dog now, can you press a little bit more through your right hand than your left hand and notice what that does in the spine? And then notice what happens if you push a little bit more through your left hand than your right hand and notice what that does in the spine. Great. Let's go ahead and bend just your right knee and notice what that does in the back of your left calf. Great. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, draw your right knee to your nose. Yeah. Step your right foot between your hands. Fantastic. Spin your left foot to the floor. Bring both hands to the inside edge of your front foot. Now walk your hands to the upper left corner of your space. And I want you to push your butt back towards the lower right corner of your mat. Great. Keep a bend into the front knee and hook your outer right hip in towards your inner left thigh. Great. Keep that. Walk your right hand to the inside edge of your right foot. You might put the hand on a block or on the floor. And then from there, sweep your left arm forward to open into an extended side angle. Nice job. Now keep breathing. Notice what you notice happening in the hips. Notice what you notice happening in your breath. Notice what you notice happening in your side body. Nice job, guys. On your next exhale, bring that left hand to the floor, pivot to a low lunge and step back to a downward facing dog. Take a big, big breath in here. On your next exhalation, see if you can root a little bit more through your feet. Inhale, bend just your left knee, just your left knee. And just notice what's happening in that right heel, taking a deeper breath in, deeper breath out. Nice job, guys. On your next exhale, draw your left knee to your nose, round through the spine, lift your pelvis. Yep, and then step that foot between your hands. Fantastic. Spin your right foot to the floor, both hands to the inside edge of your front foot, and then walk your hands to the upper right corner of your space or mat. Press your pelvis back to the lower left corner of your space, and then see if you can press through the knife edge of your back foot. Hook your outer left hip in a little bit more. And then from here, you'll start to walk your left hand to the inside edge of your left foot, maybe bringing it to block or floor. From there, reach your right hand forward and roll your rib cage to the to the right, and you'll find yourself in extended side angle. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. And that right arm is reaching straight forward. You're finding a nice stretch along your side body. Nice job. On your next exhale, the right hand comes to the floor, pivot to a low lunge, step yourself back to plank pose. 3 breaths. 3 breaths. And what do you, oh yeah, I know. What are we doing? And then you'll pause here. See if you can lift your low belly into your low back. If you can lengthen your tailbone back towards your feet and squeeze your glutes just a smidge. Yep. And then on your next in breath, go ahead and reach your heart and sternum forward. And as you exhale, lower all the way down. Nice job. When you get down, uncurl the feet, extend out through the tops of the feet, and press down into pinky toes and big toes. Lengthen tailbone back and straighten your legs. Push down into your hands a little bit. Spin your thumbs isometrically towards your pinky fingers. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back, elbows towards each other. Then inhale, pull your heart and sternum forward for cobra as high as you want. Keep lengthening tailbone back, low belly in. Nice job. Next exhale, lower down. Inhale, come up, hands and knees or plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And just notice, what do you notice happening right here and now in this moment? Can you feel your hands pressing into your mat or floor? Do you notice the feeling of your clothing on your skin? Can you actually really notice the sensations of your belly rising and falling with every breath in and every breath out? Awesome sauce. All right, go ahead and inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. As you exhale, bend your knee, open and stack your hip, and take a dog at a hydrant pose. And I want you to keep drawing your outer right hip straight back, lift your left knee up as much as you can, and find that fun stretch happening on the inside edge of that right leg, maybe hamstring area. Next, exhale, square your hips, inhale here, and then exhale, knee to nose, round through the spine. Fantastic. Lower the foot to the floor. Yep, spin your right foot to the floor, and then bring yourselves up for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Awesome sauce. Now that we're in Warrior 2, really focus on the internal rotation of that back right leg. So it almost feels like it's going towards the upper, right-hand corner of your mat. We're going to lower our left forearm onto the top of our left thigh. And then I want you to reach your right arm forward and almost feel like you're making an arc with the spine so that you feel a stretch going across the front of the body. That might be very different than our extended side angle when we were a little lower down. Keep rolling your left ribs under and up, your right ribs on top, and then see if you can find a little bit more space here. Relax through the pinky toe of the back foot and take a big breath in. On your next exhale, right hand comes to the floor, come to a low lunge, and go ahead and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Option to stay right here if you'd like, or if you want to cycle through an up dog and cobra, it's up to you. But you just take a moment to notice in this moment how your breath is working for you and how you're connected to this moment. It's only in this moment that we have the choice to make any decision, any choice. So we have to allow ourselves to root. Yep, there you go. Every moment, breath by breath. Nice work, guys. All right. Other side. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, bend the knee, open and stack the hip. And you want to keep drawing your outer left hip straight back. Yep, as you reach your right knee straight up and almost split the legs as best you can. Nice job. On your next in-breath, square the hips. As you exhale, draw the right knee to the nose, round through the spine, lift the pelvis, and then plant the foot. Nice job. Spin your left foot to the floor and inhale, come up for Virabhadrasana 2. Fantastic. All right, and then again, we're going to internally rotate that back leg, the left thigh, so it almost feels like it's coming to the upper corner of your mat. I guess that's the left corner. Go ahead and lower your right forearm to the top of the right thigh. Reach your left arm forward. And again, we're trying to find this arcing motion. It almost feels like you're spiraling, trying to touch your left pinky fingers back to the back of your left heel. It sounds odd, but it's like you're receiving by not much space. Nice job. Right ribs come under, left ribs come on top. On your next exhalation, go ahead and lower left hand to the floor, pivot to the ball of the back foot, and step back, planky pose. Awesome sauce. Take a moment to pause here in plank. Now I want you to lift up through your low belly a little bit more. Spin your heels to the left. Yeah, keep lifting through the low belly. Yeah, take a breath in here. Next inhalation, come back through center. Spin your heels to the right. Take a big breath, lift your underbutt up. Yep. Inhale, come through center. And then as you exhale, shift your weight forward, lower all the way down. Your choice, you come up into cobra or up dog once you get there. But just take a little moment to breathe. Finding the space, feeling the body, feeling the breath. Nice job. You'll lower down and we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Nice work, guys. All right, let's go ahead and add on. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Keep your hips as square as you can. Bend your left knee just a smidge. That's the bottom knee, the left knee. There we go. Lift your right knee and foot a little higher. Notice what that does in the back of the left leg. On your next exhale, right knee to nose. Plant your foot. Fantastic. This would be a great time to bring your hands to your blocks. You're going to spin your back foot to the floor, then straighten your front leg long. Yep, so turn those blocks up a tick if you need to. Now from here, let's go ahead and press onto the knife edge of our back foot. Press into the big toe mound of our front foot and see if you can draw your outer right hip back just a smidge. As you draw your outer left hip forward just a smidge, reach your heart and sternum forward, and we're in pyramid pose. Oh, fun days for us. Okay, we're going to transition. Go ahead and start to bring your left hand to your left hip. Push down into your right foot. Push down into your right hand. Draw your right shoulder up to your ear. Draw the right shoulder blade onto your back. Start to pull your right ribs to the left. Stack your left ribs on top of the right. You can let your hips rotate as well as you start to find yourself in Utthita Trikonasana. As you're ready, you'll start to reach that left arm up towards the sky. And I want you to breathe, and I want you to notice all the fun sensations that's probably going down that right leg. Nice job. Take a big breath in here. Yeah, good job, Barbara. And as you're ready, you'll go ahead and exhale, lower the left hand to the floor, pivot to the ball of your back foot, step yourselves back to a downward facing dog. Again, the option to cycle through or not, completely up to you, but just pay attention to how you're moving, how you're breathing, how you're feeling. When we get caught in the past or get too caught in the future, we're not in this moment. And you know, the funny thing that I have noticed is that this moment is always usually okay, no matter what is going on. It's only our thoughts about the past or thoughts about the future that make this moment less than being stellar. So if we can remember that, how can we remind ourselves that when something feels less than stellar, that's just an indication that we're not here and now. And then that gives us the capacity to come back. Pretty cool, right? I think so. All right, so let's go ahead and inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Pause here. We're going to bend the right knee. That's the bottom leg. Reach the left foot a little bit higher. And then on your next exhale, draw the left knee to your nose, lift your pelvis, plant your foot. Fantastic. And then at this point, hands are probably going to want to come to those blocks. You're going to spin the back foot to the floor and start to straighten your front leg along. And we're going to pause here, playing in our pyramid pose first. So with that left leg straight, press from your left sit bone to your left big toe, and then draw your outer right hip forward just a smidge. Reach your heart and sternum forward, finding the length in your spine, sticking your tuchus back just a smidge to find that stretch in that left hamstring. Yep. And then when you're ready, the right hand will come to the right hip. You'll press down even more into the left big toe, press down into the left hand, draw the left shoulder up towards the left ear, draw the left shoulder blade onto the back. Yep, and then start to rotate your left ribs under, your right ribs on top, and roll your rib cage to the right. Yep, and then from here, you might start to reach your right arm up. Yeah, and then we're just focusing on keeping as much length, yes, on the left side as the shoulder, yes, on the left side as the right arm reaches up. Fantastic. As you're ready, we're going to gently come out of this. Turn your gaze to the floor, bring the right hand to the floor, pivot to the ball of the back foot, low lunge, step yourself back to plank pose. Awesome, soft. From here, let's go ahead and lower our knees down to the mat. Walk both sets of toes over to the right. You might pad your knees if your knees are sensitive. Sorry, I probably should have said that first. And then we're going to reach, once we've tucked our toes over to the right, reach your left foot back, spin the left sole of the foot to the floor, reach your left arm forward, and we're finding ourselves in this modified side plank. Some of you can bring your hand, your left hand, to the back of your skull, holding that occipital bone, press into the left pinky toe, reach your heart forward and then back slightly, and just find a nice stretch happening there. And then as you're ready, you'll gently release that. Left hand comes back to the floor, left knee comes back to the floor. Curl both sets of toes under, walk the toes to the left. Go ahead and reach the right foot back, plant the whole sole of the right foot on the floor, reach your right arm forward, and find yourself in this modified side plank. Some of you will stay there with the right arm reaching forward. Some of you will hold the back of your head with that right hand, really cupping the occipital bone at the back of the head, and then reaching the heart forward and leaning back. But we're just finding a nice stretch along the side body, front body area. Nice work. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower the hand to the floor. Come back to hands and knees. Press back to downward facing dog. If you want to cycle through an up dog or cobra, up to you. If you don't, totally up to you. Pause, and you breathe, and you pause. Yeah, and you breathe, and you pause, and you breathe. Awesome, soft. And you're just noticing what you notice here. All right, so this time I do believe we have to start with our left leg. Go ahead and inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. As you exhale, left knee to nose. Plant your foot to the floor. Spin your right foot to the floor and come all the way up for Virabhadrasana 2. Back to this. All right. Now, once we're here this time, let's go ahead and straighten our front leg long. I want you to really root down through both feet, but pull both kneecaps up. Hug your outer left hip in. And let's go ahead and reach forward through our left hand. Lower our left hand, perhaps to the top of the foot, to the shin, to the floor, and then you'll start to reach your right arm up. And then we'll turn our palm to face forward and reach our right arm alongside our ears. And you're just really rooting down through the back pinky toe, reaching out through the right fingers, and see if you can roll your left ribs under and forward. Yep, right ribs on top. Great. Now this is going to be odd. This is not our normal transition for this. I want you to turn your gaze down to the floor. You're going to bend your front knee, bring both hands to frame your front foot. Shift your weight forward and lift your back leg up parallel-ish to the floor. Flex through that right foot a lot. Now I want you to walk your hands forward so your hands are underneath your shoulders. They might need to be on a block. That's totally okay. From here, your right hand is going to come to your right hip. Right hand comes to right hip. Push down into the left hand, draw the left shoulder up towards the ears, left shoulder blade onto the back. Start to rotate your left rib cage forward, right rib cage up, fantabulous. And then you might reach up through your top arm. Yeah, fantastic. All right, as we're ready to come out of this, we'll take our right hand, come back down to the floor, square our hips to the floor, bend your front knee, step your back foot back, make your way through a low lunge and step yourself back to a downward facing dog. You might choose to hang out there for a little bit. You might cycle through an up dog or cobra, but I want you to just really pay attention to what's happening right now in this moment in the breath. Yeah, good job. All right, let's try this on the other side. So go ahead and inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, knee to nose, plant that foot between your hands. Spin the back foot completely to the floor. And then when you're ready, inhale, come up from Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Nice job, guys. As you're ready, straighten your front leg long. Yeah, really press down through both feet, pull both kneecaps up. Hug your outer right hip back, reach your right hand forward and come into triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana. Maybe right hand comes to shins, maybe it comes to block, maybe it comes to floor. From there, go ahead and reach the left arm up, turn the left palm forward, reach the left arm alongside your left ear. Keep reaching through the left pinky finger as you press down through the left pinky toe. Yeah, good job, guys. Right ribs roll forward and under, left ribs on top. Nice job. Now here's our awkward transition. On your next exhale, gaze comes to the floor. Bend your front knee. Plant your palms on floor or blocks. Shift your weight forward. Float your back leg parallel-ish to the floor. Flex through that left foot a lot. Flex through that left foot a lot. Yep. Start to bring your left hand to your left hip. Press down into the right hand. Draw the right shoulder blade onto the back. Then start to roll your right ribs forward and under, left ribs on top, left hip on top. Yeah. And then you might start to reach your left arm up. Nice job, guys. You got it. As you're ready, the left hand comes down to the floor. You bend your right knee. You step the left foot back. You make your way back to a downward facing dog pose. Take a moment to pause here. Moment to pause there. Awesome sauce. Let's go ahead and inhale, come into plank pose. Pause here. Lift up through the low belly. Spin your heels this time to the right. Root down into your right hand. Lift up on your under right side. Maybe reach your left arm up. Nice job. Next exhale, lower that hand down. Come back through center. Roll the heels to the left. Lift the under hips up. And then maybe you float the right arm up. Yeah, nice job, guys. As you're ready, gently lower that hand down. You might cycle through an up dog or cobra, but we're going to meet in child's pose once you're done. Yes, please. So Barbara, you missed it. Sandy was like, yes, please. We're done. We're gonna. Are we okay? Yeah. All right. I know it's fun. It's like some weeks we're like very passive, and other weeks we're like, I'm gonna drive you forward. In any case, I want you to take a moment to notice what you notice in this moment. What's happening right now? I think it's one of those interesting things. Human beings, we are so freaking smart, but sometimes a lot of the things that we perseverate on and think about and ruminate on, it doesn't actually do us good. But in this moment, can you find the joy of feeling your shins into the mat? Find the joy of really feeling your belly press in towards your thighs, down towards the floor. Can you notice a sense of relief that you can find in the shoulders, in your throat, in your jaw, in your face? Nice work. All right. When you are ready, we're going to come forward to forearms and knees. And when we get to forearms and knees, you don't have four knees, but you're going to press the palms together like you're in prayer pose. Walk your elbows in just a little bit of your shoulders. And then I want you to push down into your elbows, forearms, and roll out wide until your skin catches your space. Now tuck your chin towards your chest a lot. Curl your toes under. Start to round through your spine. Karate chop the floor, pressing your pinky fingers down, and then start to lift your tuchus to the sky. And then you might walk your feet towards your face. Awesome. And come down. Your shoulders are wider than mine. Come out a little bit. Yeah, okay. There you go. And then as you're here, I want you to keep pushing down through your forearms and your pinky fingers, lifting up through your happy armpits. There you go. And then arch your bum up just a smidge. Yeah, so you can find the length here. And you can stay as many breaths as you want. And then you'll gently come down. That looks good, Barbara. Good job, guys. And you'll just take another few moments to rest here and just observe. Just observe. How are you feeling? How's the breath working? How are you working? How's this moment right now? Fantastic. Okay. So we're gently going to come up to sit. Okay. And then we're going to swim our butt to the floor again and swing our legs in front of us this time. You might sit up on a blanket if that works for you. And then the first thing we're going to do is draw the soles of our feet towards each other and sit for an awkward Baddha Konasana. So I want you to really pull your heart and sternum forward and through, and just notice if you feel any opening on the inner groins or inner thighs. Some of you will stay right here and be happy as a clam. Some of you are going to take your right foot out to the right, and then you'll pull the top of your left foot to the floor and draw it closer towards your perineum. And then if that's your jam, you're going to come forward and hang out here. And if you're working in Baddha Konasana, we're just trying to find that stretch across the inner thighs. So you just work there, drawing the heart forward. And we're just going to take about 4 to 5 breaths here. Those that are in that, I don't know, variation between Upavista and Janu Shirshasana. Notice what happens if you tip your pelvis one way or another. Make sure you're really pressing down into the heel. Okay. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. Noticing what you're noticing happening in the legs. Make sure that right kneecap is pulled up and engaged. Yeah. All right. Gently come out of that. If the right leg was out to the right, you're going to bend the right knee, plant the right foot on the floor, grab your right foot with your right hand and swim your right foot back behind you. At this point, you might find that your blanket is a nuisance, so you'll get rid of that if you need to. And that's completely fine if you decide to get rid of that. We're going to start to roll over towards our left, planting our left forearm on the floor. So we're in dancer quad stretch. Some of you will stay right here and be like, yep, I'm finding stretch on the belly of my right thigh and stay there happy as a clam. Some of you will lay all the way down onto your back. If you find yourself all the way onto your back, you might lift your pelvis up and slide your tuchus forward just a sliver more so that you can find more stretch across the belly of the right. We okay? Okay. And you'll pay attention because for some of us, it might not feel so happy on our right ankle. You okay on your right ankle? The stretch is intense, isn't it? In a good way? Okay. I got it too intense and things. Okay. I'm gonna ask Barbara how she's doing. Barbara, are you okay over there? Yes, Barbara's gonna do thumbs up. Okay. All right, and you just got a few breath cycles here. And you're not like going for glory. You're just trying to find enough sensation. And then just remind yourself of what's happening right now in this moment. Do you feel that? Can you soften any resistance to this being your present moment experience? And then once you feel like you've had enough of this, or I tell you, you're going to start to roll over to your left. And you're going to start to come out of this shape, coming back up to vertical, using your hands to assist. All right. From there, grab your right ankle with your right hand, bring your right foot to the floor, bring your left foot to the floor. Go ahead and extend both legs out in front of you, Dandasana, and see if you can sit as tall as you can. So you might need to lift your pelvis up and sit tall, flex through the feet, push your heels down, but pull your toes back and kneecaps pull up. Yeah, awesome. And then when we're ready, we're going to try the other side. So if you need to sit your bum back on a blanket, you sit on a blanket. You'll start back in Baddha Konasana, and you might stay here the whole time. You might send your left foot out to the left, and then draw your right top of foot to the floor, perineum or heel towards perineum. And then if that's the case, you might walk forward here. Left foot is active, left toes pulling to kneecap, left kneecap pulling towards hip. Great. And you're just going to pause there. And if you're in Baddha Konasana, you're working with this. Maybe press the pinky toes into each other and notice how that opens the inner thighs just a bit more and keep the heart coming forward. Yep, and we're just pausing and we're breathing and we're pausing and we're breathing wherever we are. We've got about 4 more breath cycles. And just notice where you can find a little bit more ease And a little bit deeper of a breath. A little bit more ease and a little bit deeper of a breath. Nice job, guys. At the end of your next exhalation, you're going to come back up. Those of you that have your left foot out to the left, you'll bend your left knee, put your left foot on the floor, grab your left foot with your left hand, swing your left heel back behind you. Awesome stuff. And then we're going to start to go over to the right. You might just lower your right forearm to the floor and just pay attention to what's happening here on your left quad. You might start to lift your pelvis and roll all the way back to your back. And then you'll just take a moment there. And if you're on your back, you might have lifted your pelvis up and slid it a little bit forward. You can find more of a concentrated stretch in the belly of that left thigh. Oh, I love this. Barbara's patting her leg over there. I think that's good. And so you guys just pause and you breathe and you just notice. Okay, so we got a grimace on this side, but not on the last side. Okay. Oh. Okay, and then we got 2 more breaths. I'm glad you found a sensation that you're enjoying though, right? Okay, so Barbara, I said, I'm glad you found a sensation that you're enjoying, and Sandy said, I don't know if I'm enjoying it. So he's not, but we're okay. And we got 2 more breath cycles here. And then when you are ready to come out, you're going to start to roll to your right. You will use your hands to help you get yourself out of that precarious position that you're in. Oh, yeah, or just do that. And then go ahead and extend both legs forward. And you'll take a moment to sit here tall and straight. Yep. And if you need to wiggle out the legs a little bit, go ahead and wiggle out the legs, flex the feet, roll it around. Barbara, can you still hear me? Okay, good. All right, I just touched my ears, so I don't know if I turned it off. And then we'll go ahead and bring our hands back behind us. Let's go ahead and plant both of our feet on the floor. And I want you to first push down through your hands, draw the shoulder blades together on your back, push down through your feet, lift your pelvis up, slide your tailbone forward towards your knees, hug your shoulder blades together on the back. And first look down towards your knees and see if you can really lift the hips so maybe you can't see the knees. And then maybe you might start to look up towards the sky. And then maybe you might look back behind you, but really pay attention to what this feels like on your neck. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly lower your pelvis down. You're going to walk your feet forward just a smidge. People in person are going to turn around. And then all of you are going to grab onto the backs of your legs or just reach your arms forward parallel-ish to the floor. And you are going to do the slowest descent on the planet, imagining that this is the ice age and global warming isn't a thing, and you're gonna roll all the way down. I love how you guys literally took that. Ice age isn't a thing, you're slowly melting. And you're taking your time to get there. And those that are still working, you still work. And those that are lying down, you still melt yourselves down. And the first thing that you'll do when you get there is you might make a splat feeling or sound. And then I want you to bend your knees and plant your feet firmly on the floor. Walk your feet outside of your hips. Let your knees knock in towards each other. And then wrap your arms around your torso, giving yourself a hug. And you'll just take a few breaths here, really allowing the weight of the arms to rest into the chest, really allowing the weight of the knees to rest in towards each other. And then just as we started, I want you to see if you can take a few conscious, deep breaths and notice that that can relax the mind and that can relax the body. And you might let the breath come out of the mouth in an audible sound, or you might not. Oh, look at that. I'll just do 2 more just like that. Yep. Last one. Yeah. And then when you're ready, you'll go ahead and inhale, open the arm, switch whichever arm is on top. And this time as you're here, taking your 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths, I want you to pose the question to yourself of what is it that I need now? Now, what is it that I need tomorrow? What is it that I needed yesterday? But what do I need now? And as you pose that question to yourself and you really wait to receive the answer, it'll give you an indication of what you might need to do next. So you might choose to stay here. Some of you might want to take a supported bridge or supported legs up the wall, a happy baby, a supine twist, maybe some figure fours. But you'll allow yourself to first and foremost ask what's needed now by really just listening to the body, listening to the breath. And you've got about 2 minutes to explore whatever feels most appropriate for you. And as you explore that, I want you to take a deeper inquiry into what's happening in your breath. Do you feel the breath? And it's kind of cool because you could start by just paying attention to what the breath feels like internally. So, meaning how it impacts the diaphragm and the organs and the pelvic floor and the chest and the rib cage. But then you can also pay attention to how the breath impacts the external body. So, really feeling it touch the nostrils, really feeling the chest rise, the belly rise. Yep. And so, if you've done something asymmetrical, I would invite you to visit the other side. And you've got about another minute just doing whatever the heck you happen to be doing. And when you feel complete, you will find yourself into some symmetrical pose. And you're just listening. What does the breath feel like, both internally and externally? Great. And once we found ourselves in our final symmetrical pose, I invite you to just repeat what we did a little bit earlier. You'll take 3 conscious breaths in and 3 conscious breaths out, maybe allowing there to be sound so that you can allow both the mind and the body to relax just a little deeper. And after you've taken your 3rd conscious breath, go ahead, go ahead and allow the breath to become involuntary. Let it fall back into its natural pattern at this moment in time. And for the next few moments, can you allow your mind to just rest on the space that's created with every subsequent breath? So every time you exhale, there's a little bit more space created. And can you allow your mind to rest there? I'll go ahead and leave you with you for a few more moments, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. Notice what you notice in this moment. If there's any part of you longing to linger here, by all means, stay right here. When you are ready to move, you'll allow movement to re enter the physical form in a small, gentle, nurturing way. Those that are in stillness, stay as long as you'd like. Those that are in movement, you might start to make the movement a little bit bigger, stretching, wiggling, and yawning. You'll then start to make your way to one of your sides and pause there for a few breaths. Those that are on their sides, start to roll your chest more towards the floor. Press into the top hand to release the bottom hand and draw your spine up to vertical. And you'll just take your time to come to vertical, elevating your bum on a block or a blanket. And just as we began, take a moment to let the hands rest on the thighs. See if you can relax your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw, your tongue. Allow the weight of gravity to drop into the arms and the elbows and the hands. Drop into the legs and the pelvis and the feet. And then notice if you can just take 3 slow breaths here to steady the mind and steady the body. And again, the breath can be audible if that helps. Sometimes an audible exhalation just allows you to settle into this moment. And we're going to end today with just a little bit of a focus on our breath. So I'm going to leave you just for 4 to 5 breaths here. And I want you to breathe in and notice and imagine that this is the only thing you had to do right now. Seeing how full you could take in a breath, how completely you could release the breath. As you do that, you might notice that there are parts of the body that start to fidget or that are holding tension, and see if you can soften them. And as you take this last couple of breaths on your own, just continue to breathe fully and completely, relaxing any unnecessary tension you don't need. Nice work. Yeah. Very gently, you'll draw your hands to heart center onto a mudra. Really see if you can allow the palms to rest into the sternum. Lift your sternum into your palms and just see if you can relax still. Just breathe. That's all you got to do. We'll complete our practice with a collective breath followed by a collective om. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale for om. Join if you'd like. Om. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light, the breath within me honors and salutes the light and the breath within each of you. Namaste.